Hey everyone, Philip here with HuntMo, and season's coming, about 2 weeks. So Darren and I, we were just talking, telling some deer stories, so we thought, why not film a video about it? So today I'm just going to talk about a couple of deer that I've harvested over the past couple years, and they kind of all somewhat tie together. So the first one is right here in my hands, the Logging Road buck. And this buck came in 2017, first on trail camera in January. And he was a 7-pointer, probably 115, 120 maybe in that area, and didn't pursue him at late season. But then he showed back up 2018, and he was a homebody. He was on camera day after day, never saw him on hoof. And then season goes on, 2019, he's probably at his biggest yet. At this time, he's probably a 4.5, 5.5-year-old buck. And 2019 comes, I want to say he's anywhere from he's around 130 inches probably, 125, 130. And haven't had a bow buck under my belt yet at that time in 2019. So he was probably one of my target bucks. And so mid-October comes around, and that's when these two come into play. So we got 2019, my harvests are the Crooked 8 and then also the Drop Time buck. And mid-October comes on a hunt, and the Logging Road buck comes out first into my bean field, and then right after that Crooked 8 steps out, and then Drop Time steps out. Well, at that time Drop Time buck was the biggest buck, so I'm going to definitely pursue that deer. And he ended up scoring 144 and 5/8, and then the Crooked 8 ended up scoring 139 and 7/8. So they all were out in the field milling around. Then the Logging Road buck squares up with the Crooked 8. Now the Crooked 8, he was not a fighter at all. He's a lover, not a fighter. So he split. Then Logging Road buck came and faced off with the Drop Time buck. They went around about 30 seconds, and then they both went separate ways. Next night I came back, sat in the same stand, and I noticed that the Logging Road buck came out the exact same time, exact same spot. So I knew that if he's going to do it twice, I knew he was going to do it again. So next night went to the other opposite side of the field, got in a good position for him to come, and sure enough, like clockwork, came back out, exact same spot on the other side of the field, came about 50 yards, then split into this little cedar thicket that we got, and he was just thrashing trees, rubbing like crazy. And then I had just a couple does come underneath my stand. I had a good wind for him where he was at, where them does came out at. Sure enough, I could have swore I was screwed, but got upwind from me. He comes out. I range him at 35 yards. Try to stop him. Doesn't stop. Took a couple more steps. I thought he was probably 37, 38 yards. Turned out he was around 40 yards. So I shot right underneath of him. He split. Never saw him again on hoof. Now fast forward all the way to November 14th. And we're going to switch over to the Drop Time buck. November 14th. Went in about 10 o'clock in the morning, went in late, knew I was going to sit the rest of the day. From the time that I missed the Logging Road buck all the way to November 14th, never saw a mature buck, never saw a shooter or nothing. And so I went into the back part of my farm where I usually don't go except a certain time frame. And sure enough, about 10 minutes before dark, I rattle. He comes walking up over a ridge, 22 yards, shoulder punched him hard, and he ran about 30 yards. He's at 56 yards, and I couldn't get another shot on him. Watched him walk off into the distance, going to this other section of timber, and I saw him bed. He was right on the edge, and I saw him bed. So backed out. Went in the next morning with my uncle. We got on blood. Blood was decent, nothing great. When I shot him, when he muley kicked and he landed on his front legs, the arrow popped right out. So I got absolutely almost no penetration whatsoever. And so next morning though, went and looked for him, found blood, found where he bed, and that was it. Never saw him again. So down in the dumps. Gun season's here now. This is November 14th. Gun season that year was November 16th. So gun season came, and never saw him again. Never saw the Logging Road buck or anything. Started seeing this crooked 8 buck. Actually saw him more on cameras, more in person. So I went after him. I want to say November 22nd or so. He comes out chasing 2 does, and rest is history. I mean, shot him, dropped him right there in the bean field, the exact same bean field where I saw all 3 of these bucks. So I got him on the ground, so he's done. So 2019-2020 season's over. Gonna go to shed season, looking for his sheds, and I'm also looking for the Logging Road buck sheds. Didn't find any of them. That's kind of how it goes on this parcel. Don't really have a lot of bucks at shed, maybe one here and there. But my uncle went shed hunting, and him and his son, they found the drop time buck. Now the drop time buck, from where he bedded, where I saw him bed, to where they found him, where the crow flies, it's 80 acres away, on the other complete side of the farm. And I have no idea how he managed to get there, because if you think the way that the farm lays out, it was a tough way to get where he was. There's ridges on one side, and then there's another major ridges on the other side, and have no idea how he made it there, but he did. So we got him. The cape that is for this deer is actually a Logging Road buck's cape. And so we'll fast forward to the 2020 season. Don't really have a whole lot of shooters, but I do have the Logging Road buck back on camera in 2020, and he is all over. I have 3 different cameras out that surround the area where I believe he was at, and you come to find out, I believe that he was living on one ridge, exactly one ridge, right off of the same bean field where I missed him and saw him with these 2 bucks. And so I knew, I was like, I got to get in there early. So the first cold front that we had was October 16th, and he stepped out right at dark, and rest is history on that one. Thought I made a beautiful shot. I didn't make the greatest shot. Got a liver shot, but that didn't stop Darian and I. So we went in that same night. Didn't stop us from going to check in on him. And there he was, about 80 yards away, piled up. So yeah, so these are 3 of my bucks that I've shot. The drop time buck scored 144 5/8, like I said. The Logging Road buck scored 118 and some change. Nothing spectacular, but this deer right here, he's 6.5 years old, and this is probably my proudest buck that I've ever shot. And the cape off this deer is this one right here. And then the Crooked 8, he scored 139 and I think it's at 5/8 or 7/8, something like that. So yeah, so that's, just want to show you all some of our bucks that we've shot and have a little story. So we'll see y'all next episode.